Ladies and gentlemen,
pros and schmoes,
you are listening to
The ComeUp.
Welcome back to another episode of The ComeUp. I am Hailey Delph, and with me is my husband, Ryan Delph. This show brought to you by TrueNutrition.com. Make sure you use code ADVICES at checkout. Also brought to you by ForgedNutrition.com. Use code DELPH at checkout. Ryan, what do you think about Forged?
Forged Nutrition is legit. So far, I've only tried their pre-workout, but that is good shit. I like using, I don't even know what like pump products they have in there, but I like using pre-workouts not so much for the caffeine and like the stimulant, but more so for the pump, and that's good stuff.
Yeah. So. Our show also brought to you by our training businesses. Mine, Trained by HD, accepting in-person and online clients. You can contact me at my Instagram, Hailey Delph. I just changed that if that threw our few listeners off, at Hailey Delph, or you can go to my website, www.trainedbyhd.com.
And you can check me out at mysovereignaesthetics.com. You can send me a message through there or hit me up on Instagram at _tyrant_killer.
Woo! I'm going to put in some kind of awesome sound effect right there.
Woo!
Yeah. So update on us, Ryan. We're gonna start with you because yours is way cooler. Update us on prep. What the fuck's going on?
Mine's less drama packed than yours.
Yeah, you're way less dramatic than me.
Mm-hmm. I'm just cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, you're a cool cat.
Oh, inside jokes. I like it. Yeah, no. So as of we're recording this on Wednesday. So as of right now, I am 2.5 weeks out from the NPC Midwest St. Louis show, where we've talked about it before, but I will be doing classic physique and heavyweight bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding for the first time, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, very first time in bodybuilding. Right now I'm chilling at I got my weight back down after my rebound from the Arnold. Which I kind of did. I did on purpose, though.
You know, the cheesecake rebound?
Yeah. You got to do that on purpose. You can't hold it. I don't think you should, honestly.
No.
But anyway, I'm back down to low 220s. So I still only have about 10 pounds to lose to make my classic weight. But yeah, and then hopefully we'll carb up to low, mid 220s and be huge on the classic stage and fill out at least the heavyweight class. So we'll see what happens.
How do you feel about the whole first bodybuilding show? Because I know classic obviously is also bodybuilding. It's just a little bit different look. Well, I mean, how are you looking at it? What's your perspective?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. To me, it's the exact same thing except for you add a front lat spread and a rear lat spread and a most muscular shot, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's all you add.
Well, it's a side try too.
And a side try, which I usually do that for my favorite classic anyway, so It's not a big deal. But to me, in classic physique, the best bodybuilder that goes into that weight class, that fits into that weight class, is going to win classic. So really, it's the same damn thing, and I'm going to bring the exact same look to both divisions. So I'm just going to go up there and do me, son. Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so.
And I'm excited to compete at that venue because when we watched last year, there's 3,000 people in the audience, and it's at Union Station, and it's just packed and awesome. It's
insane. Also why I did choose it to be my tentative pro debut.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about you. What's going on with you? How's that pro debut prep going?
You're a dick. Well, pro debut prep is on hold, and you may be wondering why we haven't recorded in a couple weeks, and a lot of it is because one of our guests couldn't make it a couple weeks ago, and B, I needed some time to process what the fuck was going on with my body. You can sneeze. Go ahead and sneeze.
I'm not sneezing. I'm sniffing.
Oh, okay.
I'm very sick and have a runny nose.
I needed some time to process what was going on with me and get my head straight. So I started prepping back in, I don't know, like fucking
shit, like Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving. Yeah, because I remember I ate a fuck ton of pie and then started prep. So we were about like 4 weeks out. And it wasn't looking good. I was looking like shit. And now that I'm starting to feel better, I'm realizing that I was feeling like shit. And some things were just going horribly wrong. So BJ and I decided we were going to troubleshoot some things and try to figure some things out. And we didn't really get any answers quickly. So we ended up pulling out of the show, of the St. Louis Pro. So I'd actually already signed my contract and sent it in because I honestly fucking like 8 weeks out, I was very close to lean enough to get on stage. So
you were definitely ahead of schedule. At 8 weeks out, you were looking damn good.
Yeah. So that's I had to let the IFBB know that I was having some health issues, and they were like, no problem, feel better. So yeah, I pulled out of that and started working with my doctor. Luckily, I had just had some panels done like the week before we decided to pull out of the show. So shout out to ACI Medicine and Dr. Schneider for getting back to me like in 48 hours with my panels when normally it takes like 2 weeks to get results, and making a plan to get me healthy. So basically, I haven't been like super open with what was going on, but I feel like this is like kind of a therapy session for me to talk about it on a podcast.
I was just going to say, okay, so you mentioned that you got to get your health in check, and you've been talking about, my health is out of whack, and everybody's getting all concerned, and I know people are asking, well, she's clearly taking all kinds of shit. Like, what the fuck did she do? So clear the fucking air. What did you didn't really do anything crazy.
So, this is actually, I learned a really good lesson, and I'll preface what's going on with me by saying this. And actually, Autumn Swanson talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I'm really taking it to heart now. So the further you go in this sport, and the better you are, and the harder you work, the more you know, the more there is to do, and the more responsibility there is, and the more you can fuck up. And sometimes simplicity, actually most of the time, I think simplicity is the answer. And I overworked myself. I overtrained and I oversupplemented, and I did too much too quickly. And by that, I mean, I'm already a bag of tricks when it comes to my health because I have polycystic ovarian syndrome and pretty out of whack hormones with hypothyroidism anyways. So I decided to add, more thyroid hormone to speed up my metabolism. Something that almost every fucking competitor that I know does.
Now, how many micrograms were you? So you're prescribed T3, T4.
Yes.
And
so
your prescription is what?
Currently, I mean, it's pretty hefty, probably like close to 75 micrograms a day, which is a pretty big dosage. So.
And you doubled it, right?
Not even.
Okay, so added a third.
Yeah. So what happened was it kind of just set into motion like a hormone domino effect where everything just got fucked up. I don't really know how to explain it because I'm not a doctor, but I will tell you that mentally, physically, everything was off. I started to have some serious side effects of like abdominal retention. I was chronically flat. I had no energy. I wasn't sleeping, and it's hard because when you get deep into a prep, sometimes those things happen. The last time I prepped when I turned pro, I wasn't fucking sleeping, but I was also completely natty at the time too. So, I'm going to chalk it up to a learning experience. But I guess, now, a bunch of the other things going on with me with PCOS comes some insulin resistance that I normally have to combat, which is why I barely get to eat carbohydrates ever. My blood sugars are very fucking high, like really high. And that's something that we're focusing on
You were almost like type 2 diabetic.
I mean, it was real bad. So actually today, good news, my reading when I woke up was 98, which, for a bodybuilder is not that great. For a normal person, it's good. But then postprandial, I was even fucking lower. I was at an 89. So I can't complain. It's going the right way.
That's crazy.
I'm looking bigger. I'm looking fuller, which is like my normal look. People were like, wow, that's you flat. I would love to look like that. But that's not me. My signature thing is not fucking veins and being shredded. Like, that's not my thing.
You're big shape and full with shape and proportion.
Yeah, I'm just super fucking round. And this morning when I woke up, I took my pictures. I weighed 147 pounds. I was round as fuck. And, VJ said, fingers crossed, but it looks like you're bouncing back. So that was a good way to start my day. And I'm just focusing on every day being a little bit better and being patient with my body. Because I'm the only one that really knows what's going on with me. Me, my husband, my coach, my doctor. And that's also been like a real eye-opening thing here, is everybody thinks they should tell me what to do.
Everybody's got an opinion. They have no clue what's going on.
Everybody has a fucking opinion. Like, you should take this thyroid medication, or you should eat this, or you should, I have one of the best teams, I think, in bodybuilding that I work with, and we got ourselves into it, and we're going to get ourselves out. So looking down the road, I'm also not going to make Puerto Rico. So that's just going to be a vacation for me. Ryan will also be competing there.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Hailey was making her pro debut at St. Louis and then going to go to Puerto Rico. And I'm like, well, shit, I still need to qualify for nationals this year. I'll go do St. Louis, which is a cool show anyway. And then I'm like, well, fuck, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico and compete there too. Then if we're going to be there, I might as well spend the extra $200 or whatever. So now it's all about me.
So basically, Ryan gets to compete in all of the venues that I wanted to spend my first pro season in.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm so much calmer today than I was a couple weeks ago, because people are like, well, it's no big deal. It's just a show. No big deal. But, some people understand that bodybuilding is what I love. It's my life. I've spent every minute, I don't want to say every minute, but I've spent every day since stepping off the stage in Chicago in 2017, working towards my pro debut. I've put on 25 plus pounds of stage weight. It's, I'm
on a 5'2" frame.
I'm ecstatic, and I know what I'm capable of. But now it's like I wanted it before, and now, like, when I step off stage, I hope I have heads in my hand.
Yeah, could be a blessing in disguise, and because now you're even more motivated. But here's the thing too: I hear a lot of people that are new pros, and they'll say, oh, I want to get my pro debut out of the way, or I'm just going to do this one. And it's like, okay, that might be good for them, but
yeah, do you really think a first or second place on a national stage walking right into a pro show is going to do well?
Probably not.
Fuck no.
Now,
if you do, your name is Shanique Grant.
Yeah. You have the mindset where you want to go in your first pro show and compete to fucking win, and be one of the actual best in the world.
Right. Well, I don't see the point if you're not competing to win. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe at the local level, but I never would have paid to go to national shows and get my pro qualification if I was just never going to fucking show up my best again.
Mm-hmm. I guess where I'm going with that is, unless competing in a pro show is a bucket list type item for you, why, like, there's no point to show up at your pro debut at 80 or 90% and then have a poor first impression in front of the pro judges.
Right.
Whereas you go in at 100.
You only get one fucking chance to make a first impression.
You could show up and you would place just fine. You would do fine. Not as good as you should, but here's the thing.
But I look like shit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You show up in front of Sandy and all these people, and you look like shit in your eyes. You're at 80% of what you could be, and they'll be like, that bitch is overrated.
Yeah, because they just think that's the best I'm bringing to stage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I wasn't thinking clearly. I'm starting to feel so much better.
You're a whole lot happier, that's for sure.
I am a lot happier. It just goes to like, I'm the kind of person when I'm focused on a goal, like that this is why I'm successful at things, not just bodybuilding, but when I want something, I get it. I
don't know if you guys can hear that on the microphone, but my throat is going crazy right now. It's like gargling and shit.
Fuck. So I just thought maybe I was like intently focused, but I wasn't. It was more than that. So again, thank you to VJ for seeing what was going on with me and encouraging me to not compete in this show. Not encouraging me, but saying like this is our best decision, because he's a part of my team. Yeah. So moving forward, I'm excited about what I'm going to do, hopefully later this year. And if not, whatever. I think that we have to promote health and fitness first and foremost, because bodybuilding may be my life, but it's a hobby and it's something that I do for fun. And if I don't have my health markers in check, then who the fuck knows what could go wrong eventually? And I think there are more people that are in similar positions, but they just don't have the balls to say like, I need to take a step back. And that was really fucking hard decision, like really hard decision. But
you were literally depressed over it for about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Like hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like anything else, tomorrow's a new day, and I fully intend on being even better the next time I get on stage than I was even going to be in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. I'm pumped for you.
Yeah. So thank you so much to some of you that have helped me through this, because people can be real fucking ugly when things like this happen. When you quote unquote fail, which I don't think it feels like I'm a failure at some points, but now I'm looking at it as I would have been a failure if I just tried to stick with it and let my ego take control of things.
Pulling out of a show where you're not going to be your best is not a failure. That's called being fucking smart. There's shows every other weekend.
Yeah, I know, but it's what I'm saying is making decisions that fuck up your physique. But it's a learning experience. We're going to talk about this, but at the Indy Pro, Dave Calick was there and he said, just look at it as a positive. Like, you learned from it, and in your next prep or the later this year, you won't fucking do that and you'll have to come back better. Kate D'Annunzio helped me so fucking much. Like, she's obviously a change expert. But she helped me so much. And so did Matt Marshall.
UC Suma.
Yeah, you guys really, it's crazy to me how like people you talk to in real life are not as supportive as some of your Instagram friends. And I think
internet friends.
I think that's real fucked up. But shout out to you guys. You helped me more than you even know.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So in an ideal world now, what does the competitive season look like for you this year? I know it depends, blah, blah, blah. But realistically and ideally, like where you might make your debut now?
I actually just looked at the schedule again today. I don't know. I haven't even talked to VJ about it because we're really taking it one day at a time and making sure that I'm healthy. But it's a long fucking season. It's a really long season. So even if I'm competing after this year's Olympia qualification is over, I don't fucking care. I want to compete this year. I'm really glad that I took time off to build muscle because I know that I belong in women's physique. And I don't think anything made me more mad than people saying, well, maybe you should go back to figure.
Yeah, like what the fuck does that have to do with anything? See, because they think it's a steroid thing. And
yeah,
it
it's
definitely
not.
Wasn't. Fags.
Now I just feel like, if you think that, you can fuck off.
Fight a bitch.
But I know where I'm meant to be, and later in the year, even if it's fucking September or October, if I can get on stage and present myself without health issues and to the best of my ability, then I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it well. If not, big fucking deal. 2020 is next year.
True that.
Yeah.
Yep. No rush. I don't know. I see you in Chicago. I see you happening at Chicago Pro.
That's really soon. That's like really soon. I'm not even looking at that.
Yeah. Okay. It's just an idea.
What's an ideal year for you, Ryan?
Ideal year for me? Go to St. Louis, win St. Louis. Go to Puerto Rico, win Puerto Rico. Go to Junior Nats, get a pro card of Junior Nats.
Fuck yeah.
We'll fucking see what happens though.
I like that.
That's ideal.
And after
is it
Junior
realistic?
Nats, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's realistic.
It's realistic in my mind. So
a lot of shit is fucked up in your mind though.
Also, unicorn orgies are realistic in my mind.
Holy shit.
How wet did you just get from that?
Not wet.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Not wet at all. Okay, so
let's talk about our weekend in Indianapolis and the Indy Pro.
Yeah, moving on. Indianapolis is a fucking weird place.
Dude.
Elaborate on that.
What kind of city? This is a large city. What kind of city has everywhere fucking closed on Saturday mornings and afternoons and like don't open until 3 or 5 p.m.? Dude, we couldn't like find anywhere good to eat.
Nothing.
And everywhere's like, we open at 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck that was about.
And that place, maybe we were just in the hood for a lot of it, but that place is ghetto as fuck.
Hella ghetto.
We go to tell them the McDonald's story.
Okay, so I was living my best life by eating lots of McDonald's. So we went to this drive-thru and we pull up and they're like, the breakfast menu is up, and I was like, fuck this. I was like, do you guys serve lunch yet?
So where we're from here in Iowa, McDonald's starts serving lunch at 10:30.
Maybe it's because us corn-fed folk are ready for lunch early.
Maybe. At 10:30 there, it's 11, and we got there at like 10:59.
So
or 10:50.
This fucking lady is like, nope. So we sit for a second, and then Ryan's like, that fucking lady turned me off to this McDonald's. So we drive like 8 minutes to a different McDonald's.
Way deeper into the hood.
Way. Like
way. Buildings on fire hood.
And like, we're from a not great neighborhood, and this was like, whoa. So, yeah. So we get to this McDonald's. It's a gas station McDonald's, which...
We always pack in heat, though, so don't fret.
Which sometimes gas station McDonald's are the best McDonald's.
Hell yeah.
So we pull up and I order, and then we pull around, and the fucking little girl that answers the window doesn't say a fucking word to me. I think I just handed her a 20, and she took it, and she gave me change, and she didn't say a peep. I don't even think she made eye contact with me.
Not one word.
No. So I look at Ryan, and he's just about to bust up laughing because I've had a million different jobs, and I've worked in the food industry a lot, and like, that's just fucking wrong. You have to say something.
And then we went somewhere else, and you ordered food, and it was a Dunkin' Donuts because you had to get your muffin.
Oh
your
my
muffin
god,
pump.
yes.
Haley orders her food. I'm in the bathroom, but
this fucking teenager is literally having a conversation on her cell phone while she takes my order, and when she speaks to me, she's so quiet that I have to say, "Are you talking to me?" And she's like, this fucking bitch. And I was like, okay, just give me those muffins and I'll be on my fucking way.
So basically, I made a Facebook post about it. I said, the fast food workers in Davenport, Iowa, where we're from, would be CEOs of Fortune 500 companies in Indianapolis. Like,
bet
79% of those motherfuckers are pure retarded.
Like, what the
pure
fuck?
Ghetto retard.
I don't drink tap water ever because of the fluoridation in it, but I guarantee
conspiracy rabbit hole.
I guarantee there's so much fluoride in their water.
Probably.
There's gotta be. Yeah, so we got to Indy.
Yep.
We stayed the night we went to a Sheraton. It was downtown. It was a decent hotel.
Dude, okay, before I forget this, before we get into the bodybuilding part of Indy.
Oh, is this the story?
I saw a fucking ghost in the hotel.
Yeah, I was asleep.
I woke up at 3:03 a.m. and there's like a mirror. I'm laying on my side. There's a mirror in the room in front of me.
We're in separate beds, by the way, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want you to touch me. I sweat when I sleep, and you snore like a mother bitch.
I have more muscle than you.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I open my eyes, and I'm looking into this mirror that's like right in front of me, and around the corner, through the mirror, or like the reflection of the mirror, I could see around the corner a little bit. I make eye contact with this fucking apparition. I'm like,
apparition.
Okay. Apparition.
An appellation.
I was looking at an appellation.
Apparition. Okay, ghost. We got it.
Yeah, I saw a fucking ghost. And I'm making eye contact with this fucking thing. And but when I woke up out of my slumber, I thought it was an actual person in the room. So I laid there and I didn't move because I was like, fuck, there's somebody in our room. I don't want him to see I'm awake. I'm going to jump up and attack this motherfucker. And so I slowly got ready to get up. I threw the covers off me. I jumped up and ran around the corner. And I saw the motherfucking ghost walk away out of the mirror into the hallway.
Weird. Okay,
and then I was wide awake. I didn't sleep until 6:30 this morning.
So after this, is this when there were gunshot fireworks outside?
Yeah. Then outside, there's fucking fireworks or gunshots going off. I couldn't tell what it was, but I'm crouched down, looking out the window. It sounded like a fucking rifle. I
Were
swear.
you high?
No, I didn't even smoke that night.
Okay.
Or drink or anything. But I mean, you heard them.
Yeah, they sound like firecrackers.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded like rifle, and then it was echoing off of the tall buildings. But
I'm trying to sleep this whole fucking time.
Yeah, I'm like, man,
somebody doesn't want me to sleep.
I'm gonna grab my gat.
Fucking rolling around talking like Crocodile Hunter.
Okay. So anyway, so that's a cool
story. Wait, what did the apparition look like?
I couldn't tell if it. This is really funny. So it looked like either an old school bellhop, or like a Vatos Loco. Vato Loco.
I hope it was a Vato.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I'm guessing bellhop since we're in a hotel.
Guessing,
and that place was old too.
It was pretty old. They were small rooms. I don't know. They had fucking.
Since that really means old.
Well, rooms are bigger now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was an old hotel.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. This is weird, but I appreciate hotels that have parking ramps attached to them and you can park in them.
That was nice.
That's fucking great because finding parking is a bitch.
Anyway, let's talk bodybuilding.
So bodybuilding. The show was at this place called the Murat, I don't know how I say it, Old National Theater or Murat Theater. You go ahead.
Yeah, so about that, I would say we kind of talked to Dave Calic about this too. He goes, what'd you think of the venue? And I go, well,
the fucking seats were too small.
It's really cool because it's in an old historical theater. Also, it's not cool because it's in an old historical theater.
Right.
So it's cool because they have an old marquee out front with lit up with the letters on it.
Indy Pro. Yeah. On the marquee.
And you walk in and it's cool, but then you also kind of feel like you're in a high school auditorium.
Yeah.
And it's dark and dingy. The lighting's not the best. The seats are small, but it's only the second year this show's been around.
Right.
So maybe they'll upgrade one day, but I said, it's cool, but it's also not.
Yeah. I mean, it did attract some pretty big names, though. Mm-hmm. There were some great physiques on stage. I'm ecstatic about how the order went because we, no offense to y'all Bikini Girls, but
again, sorry.
First, the 212 went first at prejudging, and then the open, and then bikini. So we stayed for the first two, and then we were like, all right, let's go fucking train. And then finals opened up the same way. So, we got to see exactly what we wanted to see. Yeah, but I think, I can't remember the guy's name that was running it, but he seems really passionate about the show, and wanted to make sure that the people showing up to support had the best experience. So I can't remember his name right now, but he did just an excellent job. And I think that he treated the athletes really well as well. He's kind of trying to make it a little bit of a expo thing out in the auditorium where the people were there to sell their stuff. So I don't know. It was cool. It was a good show, but I mean, we're used to bigger venues than that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. No, it was really cool. 212 was interesting.
Yeah.
There was a lot of different shapes
yeah.
and structures up there.
Yeah.
Like you had Kevin Johnson, the classic physique dude. He made his 212 debut.
Is he the one that did like the bachelor party dance?
Yeah. He was up there working his shit. Yeah, that was. You know what? He got me to kind of chuckle and break a smile.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm like, okay,
dude
that's
can
good.
dance.
Yeah, he was working it. Jason Lowe, I think that's how you pronounce the last name, right? Yeah.
They said Lau, but it's Lowe.
Yeah, whatever. Fresh off the Arnold. He also made his 212 debut, coming up from Classic. So you had the aesthetic shapes like that, and then you had some mass monsters. I don't even know who they were. I mean, Tank Dixon was in there.
Yeah,
he won it. He won it the year before,
right.
And he ended up in like what, six?
I think
something
sixth
like
place. Yeah. So say the top 5.
The top 5 were Noel Adam or Adame
Yeah, dude,
something.
he
He was
looked
Mr. Mexico.
Fucking good.
He ended up, so he won it.
He's a freak.
He's like a mass monster.
Freak.
Number 2 was Aaron Polites
From Australia.
Dude, that guy, to me, I think he was the winner.
He was definitely the most beautiful physique out of the 212.
And he was fucking diced. There's actually a photo Will Whitman took of him. Go to Will's page and check that one out. He's like a shorter, stocky dude, but still aesthetic and just fucking diced. Enrico Hoffman got 3rd. Is he the dude? I think he was from Germany. I could be wrong.
No, yeah, you're right. Because I was like, that motherfucker ain't from Germany. His name's Enrico. But yeah, he's German.
He's a big dude. Who's this dude? Let me see. Fahad Al-Hassasi.
Yeah.
Obviously not from here, I'm guessing. Oh, that's that. Yeah, he was. He was from Saudi Arabia.
No, when you made that post, or was that for the Open? You were like some big Egyptian guy.
Yeah, that's for the Open.
Okay.
Yeah. That dude that I just mentioned, he was from Saudi Arabia. I thought he looked really good. He could use a little more density, but his shape, and he was diced.
Here, let me see that.
Yeah.
And then
he's that kind of black dude, but he was Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, I see. He had a shaved head.
Who got 5th?
Harold Moore. And I'm not really familiar. Yeah, hella followers.
Yeah, so the 212 was exciting to watch. Adam Young, I think he ended up getting 12th. Yeah. But he came in, he looked fucking hard. He was shredded.
So many improvements.
Yeah, definitely improved. It's just, I don't know, some of those guys were just, they've just had more time. They're just ahead of him right now. But he looked fucking awesome. We're fans of Adam. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Open. Mm-hmm. Your boy Steve Kuklo ended up winning it. I
just like him.
Yeah.
Not as much as I like Luke Sando, but.
yeah. I get it. Well, Steve Kuklo ended up winning it at prejudging.
Yeah.
Like, so Steve came out. Obviously, he's a fucking mass monster. He won it the year before, so it was his show to lose. He was big, dry, vascular motherfucker, like always.
He looked better than at the Arnold.
Yeah. Luke came out. Luke Sando looked really fucking good. He's been Mr. Consistent this year, but not as good as he did at the Arnold Columbus. Akeem Williams. Whoa. That dude, holy shit.
That was
the best we've seen him. Best we've seen him.
He's so pretty. Like, but we talked even with some other people. What's the problem?
Yeah.
He's
too
black.
He's literally too black.
Like it washes him out. But I feel like I don't know what he did differently, but he did look much better.
I don't know, but if I had to guess, I bet he came in 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah, tight as hell.
He was fucking shredded and still absolutely huge.
So it went Kuklo, Akeem.
Third place was the giant Egyptian that I mentioned.
Oh, we don't know his fucking name.
Kuwait.
His name's the Egyptian.
No, Hassan something.
Oh, I don't know.
Fill it in. Fill in some time quick. Let me look this up.
Yeah, so the Egyptian guy got 3rd. And then the juggernaut, Luke Sando, got
Hassan
4th.
Mustafa. It was his pro debut.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freak too.
Absolutely huge. And then Luke took 4th.
He's got the kind of smile. I don't know why I just saw this, but he's got the kind of smile where you like talk to him and he's gonna like smile and nod like he's fucking stupid and doesn't know what you're saying.
Yeah. Dude, he reminds me of Shark Boy. What's that dude's name? What's his name?
I don't fucking know.
The fucking vampire guy from what's that fucking show that all those bitches love?
Twilight. Not Shark. Oh yeah.
He was Shark Boy too.
So it's okay. We're
not Zac Efron.
Okay.
Other
people
fuck.
are either Team Edward or Team Jacob.
Yeah.
He's the werewolf in Twilight.
He looks like totally a massive version of that guy.
Fuck yeah, he does.
And then Justin Luis Rodriguez.
Yep.
Got fifth. Man, he looks freaking awesome. He looks like he's almost identical to Nathan Deasha.
Right?
When he
He's just
walks
a
out.
little version.
Even his face and shape and everything.
Yep.
And this is Luke. Like his second pro year?
Yep. Luke, who got fifth?
No, Justin Luis Rodriguez got fifth.
Okay,
Luke got fourth.
Sorry.
Yeah, so there's some good ass pros.
And you got to mention Dave's other client, Dorian.
Dorian Haywood.
Yeah.
Man.
He's been on Advices before.
He looked awesome.
Real awesome.
He did better than I expected him to, actually.
He was really humble in his posts, saying, like, thank you for the first call out, because that's got to feel fucking good.
Yeah, so the first call out, there was only 12 open guys, I think.
Yeah.
So the first call out, they brought out 6 guys and then 6 in the second. Dorian ended up finishing 6th place. And that dude, he just needs more time. Like, he came in absolutely peeled.
Yeah.
And he's just not like, I don't know if it's quite as wide as the other guys. Mm-hmm. He's almost a hybrid because he was so diced, but then he's still got some freaky body parts. Mm-hmm. And like his side shots, his side chest, side tri, and his abdominals looked really good. But some of the other guys just had more width on them.
Right.
And
just polishing thing.
Yeah, just time.
Yep. But so then
good shit, Dorian.
The night show, I gotta tell this story. So bodybuilding just brings like such an eclectic group of people together. There happened to be, it wasn't a couple, it was like a guy watching his girlfriend compete in the amateur bikini, and then this girl who was there to support her friend competing in amateur bikini, and they sat right the fuck behind us, and they're talking so fucking loudly and saying the wrong things that I had to interject.
Well, they thought the pros were amateurs.
Yeah, so
first timer.
Yeah, so they asked a question, they're like, so like, do the pros like win money? And I was like, yeah, like they do. And I told her, the men's divisions, I win a little bit more, blah, blah, blah. There's a purse that's split up between the top, whatever. And she's like, okay. And then she keeps asking me questions. What's the difference between 212 and open? And I was like, one weighs 212 and one's open. So you can weigh whatever the fuck you want. And then this is my favorite question of the night. Do you think any of them are on steroids? And I was like, the people on stage? She's like, yeah, like, do they get in trouble if they take steroids? And I go, no, this is IFBB. No, there's not really any rules there. And she's like, well, do you think any of them are? And I said, ma'am, there's probably not any of them that aren't.
There's probably only about 15% of people in this audience that aren't on them.
I was like, yeah, nice to meet you. Okay. Yeah.
And then as soon as 212 and open were over, we got up and left. They're probably like, oh my gosh,
no,
where are they going?
She said, you're not staying for bikini? And I was like, peace and blessings.
If we don't know anybody personally in bikini, we out.
No, like if Amy and Cara would have competed, I would have fucking stayed and watched.
Would have watched for sure.
Other than that, what's your line? You look great. You look beautiful. You did great.
Exactly.
Bye.
Stick that pussy out to the judges and wait,
right,
baby.
Good. You look awesome. Love your suit color.
Yep.
So yeah. And then what did we do after that?
Oh, we both had cheat meals.
Went to this place called Brew Burger or Burger Brew House or something.
So good.
But here's the important part.
It's within walking distance.
It fucking snowed in Indianapolis last weekend.
Yeah. What in the fuck? We just got over that here in Iowa.
Yeah, and like Uber was taking forever, and this is total first world problems. But we had to wait like 10 minutes for an Uber, and this is so great. So we get in the Uber to go to the fucking burger house, and this is like mixed dude, and he's got a passenger with him. And like a couple minutes into the ride, he goes, "So what kind of music do you guys listen to? You guys like country?" And I was like, "Is it because we're white?" Ryan's like, that's exactly why I asked us that.
Yeah. But then he was smart. He covered it up. He goes, well, no, because that's what my friend here listens to.
I listen to country. Then he turned on some like bullshit country music.
No, he didn't. I kind of believe him because he went straight to Garth Brooks.
That was not Garth Brooks. It wasn't. No, I swear to God, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't classic Garth Brooks anyways.
If y'all could see me right now, I have an energy drink can in my hand, and I'm getting ready to squeeze it in anger.
Not fucking scared. Stop. Anyways, we were racially profiled for our music choices. But so we get to this burger place, and we go and we have a little bit of a wait. So we sit at the bar. Dave Calick and his athletes, Adam and Dorian, are there, also waiting for a table. We get a table. I have one of the fucking best burgers I've had in a long time.
Barbecue nachos first.
Oh, those were fucking good.
Fire.
Fucking good. So then we had a burger, and then we were like, let's get dessert. So we went across the street, and there happened to be a macaroon bar. And Ryan goes, fucking macaroons aren't good. Those are not that good.
Gay.
And I was like, okay, bet. So we walk inside, we get some macaroon. He takes a bite. He goes, oh my God, this is good.
This is what flavored air tastes like.
So yeah, we had 4 macaroons, and it was like $9.50, and I was like, okay, we're leaving. So then we went next door, and we had some nitrogen ice cream. That was fucking interesting.
So good.
But no, it was great because they could make me like a sugar-free version. So that's awesome because, I don't need my blood sugar higher than it is.
And I was granted a cheat meal that day.
Yeah.
And he said, eat whatever you want, just not 10,000 calories.
So
and I
he
said,
had
well,
9,000.
I said, well, I'll keep it under 8 then. And I probably wasn't supposed to do sugar, but I had burgers and fries and a little bit of sugar.
And I was still like slightly depressed, so I just ate a fucking burger.
But your boy looked good the next day.
And I looked better, yeah, so that's good.
Yep.
Fuck, that was good. Highly recommend Brew Burger or whatever the fucking place is
And
called.
Nitro ice cream, whatever it's called.
And the macaroon
bar.
bar.
Was it something zero nitro or nitro
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, Sub-Zero.
Nitrogen ice cream.
Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, then we go back to our hotel, and that's all she wrote.
That's the night I saw a ghost.
Yeah, get up in the morning.
Oh, we trained at a couple gyms too.
We did. The first one was with our friend Kaylin Wolfgang. Shout out to her.
Yeah, she was so nice, and we showed up, and she had already paid for our day passes.
She's fucking awesome.
Super nice.
I love that woman.
So, thank you.
Trained legs with her. She's a client of Shane Hughley's, getting ready for some shows this year. She's got that goal of being IFBB Pro. So, best of luck. Keep working, girl.
North Americans. Masters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
she'll do pretty well.
She's awesome.
What was that place called? I can't remember.
Peak Performance Fitness.
Peak Performance.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was old school.
They have like big brick arched doors inside.
Yeah.
And
they had a lot of elite FTS stuff. A lot of different machines. I thought it was cool.
And then we went, in between prejudging finals, we went to Arc Fitness.
Arc Fitness, yeah. Stephanie Marie, she's a IFBB women's physique pro too.
Fit Steph, right?
Fierce Fit Steph.
Fierce
yeah.
Fit Steph.
So we went to that gym. It's actually like a private personal training gym. But they did a special, like a $10 day pass special where you get a shaker and a meal. So we actually got to train there. We got that stuff, and I got some new clothing. So shout out to you guys. That's a pretty fucking sick gym. A little studio gym. So if you're in the Indy area, make sure you check that stuff out.
For sure. And that was about our Indy trip, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else cool.
No.
Yeah. Good show, good gyms.
Yeah.
Good grub.
Yep.
Yep.
The McDonald's is good, but not the McDonald's workers.
Living ghosts. And ghetto-ass
Appalachians.
retarded bitch fast food workers.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Will I go back to Indy? Probably not.
Yep. So what else we got? Some listener questions?
Let's before we get to listener questions, let's take a quick commercial break.
This is your chance to go urinate.
Get the fruit. It's more points.
I'm not going to get the fruit.
Get the fruit.
I can't get the fruit.
Get the fruit.
I'm not going to get the fruit. There's a ghost right there.
This commercial brought to you by Schmoes all around the world. Ryan, do you have any Schmoes recently?
Yeah, but no cool ones.
No cool ones? Nobody wants to dip you in butter sauce?
One guy wanted me to take my shirt off and squeeze a bird.
Liar. Sounds like a movie I know. Maybe.
That's how schmoes originated.
So a couple of my favorites recently, there's one really dedicated one that just comments love you on every single one of my pictures. Shout out for the dedication.
Love you.
Not shout out for the weirdness. Another one of my favorites recently, just endless pictures, like shirtless, front double and most muscular pictures of like a 65-year-old man in red boxers, just over and over.
Are they CKs?
Over.
Calvin Klein CK?
I didn't look that closely.
Or diesels?
But the lighting's awful, and I'm not digging it.
I bet he's listening to this.
You know, if you are, stop fucking sending me pictures of yourself. I don't reply, ever.
You can send them to me.
I will.
No. Not you.
No.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not a schmo corner, but if you're trying to start a conversation with somebody through Facebook, don't just message them, hi, and that's it.
Right.
Because motherfuckers be getting fucking schmo comments and questions, and as soon as I respond and say, hello, you're going to send me a fucking dick pic. Motherfucker just sends me a message and says hi, and I don't respond. And then the next day he says, guess you don't want to talk to me.
Guess you don't
and I'm
want
like,
this
I don't
dick
know
pic.
who the fuck you are, dude. And then the next day I see him at the gym, and I guess he's a client. He probably wanted to be a client. But I go, hey, I should have said, hey, if you want to be a client, message me, say, hi, I'm interested in your pricing and services.
No shit. That's
you
about
fucking idiot.
That's about the most millennial shit I've ever
He's
heard.
a 55, 60-year-old man.
Maybe he doesn't understand.
Again, there's a common...
Did this happen today?
No, a couple days ago. Here's a common theme to this show. Retard.
Don't be stupid. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
That was your commercial break.
Welcome back, motherfuckers. Listener questions.
Y'all got some questions for me?
How many? I've scratched my face.
Y'all got some more of them questions?
Yeah. What's the first one?
So, we've had several inquiries to talk about just like food and macros and caloric intake and all that in general. So, let's break it down real easy to the bodybuilding foods that work. Go for it.
You go.
Okay.
So I'm going to say double cheeseburgers.
Well, double cheeseburgers. Your body will actually use cheeseburgers as fuel. It's a lot better than some shit.
My body loves it.
Same. So, here's my take on it. Foods that work. You have your lean meats, your chicken breast, your turkey breast, your ground turkey, 93.7 or leaner, your ground beef, like 93.7, 94.6, whatever the breakdown is, or leaner. Steak, shrimp, white fish, even salmon. Okay,
Did you
so
say chicken?
yeah, so any lean protein source like that.
Don't forget eggs
Eggs, egg whites.
and protein shakes.
Yep, whey protein. As far as carb sources, I like to keep it very simple.
Yep. Pop-Tarts.
No, you motherfucker. Maybe on cheat day. Old-fashioned, unflavored oatmeal.
Yep.
White rice. You can use any kind of rice, but we do white rice.
Jasmine tastes the best.
Jasmine's good too.
The thing clients say, like, I have to eat plain fucking oats. Well, yeah, because the prepackaged ones are bullshit, but you don't have to eat plain oats. There's a million different ways to flavor them.
Yep. You can get fancy, creative with your seasonings and condiments. So,
like, one of my favorite things to do is put some sugar-free syrup on my oats, mix them around, put some cinnamon, some nutmeg on them, throw them on a cookie sheet, fucking bake those bitches.
it's like a cookie.
Fucking granola.
Yep.
Hella good. That's one way to do it.
Yep. Sugar-free syrup. Live by it.
Live it, love it.
Flavor God.
Yep.
Seasonings.
Except I'm kind of pissed at them.
Sugar-free
still.
jelly.
I'm pissed at Flavor God. I'm calling them out because There's vanilla in it.
Oh, you're such a pussy.
I just want to shit my pants. Sorry.
More for me. So anyway, you have your lean meats, oatmeal, rice. Nice and simple. Keeps your variables minimal. And then green vegetables. Right? I mean...
Yep. That's a really good way to start.
And fish oil. You could have a little bit of almond butter in there.
I think, too, going back to carb sources, you throw in, like, sweet potatoes and potatoes, too. I think that's another way. Not for me, because PCOS and starches aren't good, but for most people.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're trying to keep the variables as minimal as possible...
Yeah.
Choose one or two carb sources.
Just give me more options,
yeah.
dear.
And then you're going to set these up originally probably based on your macros, so figure out, use the macro calculator, put your height, weight, age, your daily expenditure, your activity level, I guess, and then it'll give you how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat. And then not just using, if it fits your macros, you use the foods that work to fill your macros.
Right.
And this will help you establish a base. And you'll figure out like, I'm gaining weight or I'm losing weight. And then you need to manipulate those macros, those foods that work. Mm-hmm. So either add some extra carbs or extra fats, or if you're gaining too much weight, pull them back a little bit, reel it in, add a little protein.
What do you think about paying someone to do macros for you?
I mean, if you have no clue what you're doing, then
or if you absolutely need accountability.
Accountability is key.
Personally, though, like, I have some clients that just function better doing macros. But for the most part, like, they need something more strict. Yes. And there's still wiggle room within a strict diet. Like, you can make different things work in that. It's just a learning curve. Like, something is, you have to read. You have to listen to podcasts. You have to learn from the people that have been doing this forever to kind of make it your own. Because if you're just relying on someone else to tell you what to do for the rest of your life, you're never going to fucking know how to make a decision by yourself.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So foods that work. Yeah. Figure out the macros you need. Use the foods that work. Make adjustments from there depending on your goals.
Oh, you have a note here, about no carbs. So I think something too, I've seen this recently with friends in the sport or people that, ask me questions about their prep, what they should be doing, yada, yada. People are afraid to push it with their calorie deficit. I actually heard Austin and Marty talk about this a couple months ago, especially for like women. My calories will get so fucking low. Like, it's not great. It's not healthy. Like, when you say it out loud, you're like, oh my God. But like, that's what I have to do to get fucking shredded. Mm-hmm. So if I'm eating 800, 900 calories a day, it's because my fucking body is not going to let go of that extra weight.
Right. Are you just trying to look good, or are you trying to get absolutely fucking world-class shredded?
Right. Because there's a fucking difference. Like, it's not just giving up donuts. Like, it's being in pain for an extended period of time to get that lean, because your body does not fucking want it.
It's going to take serious sacrifice when it comes to food.
Absolutely. You're going to have
social events.
Yep. You're going to have to choose. And then you have to also choose to still be in a good mood and treat people with respect while you're that fucking hangry. It's hard. And it's a learning curve, and you get better at it as you go. But, if you can eat 200 carbs a day and get shredded, awesome. Good for you. I fucking hate you, but good for you. Mm-hmm. And if you can't, but you still choose to, it's your fucking fault when you show up soft.
Yep. So we've also had a lot of questions about, people want to know like what we personally eat. So like in the off season, I'll run through my daily regular meals. In the off season, I would have for breakfast 2 whole eggs, 10 egg whites. I think it was 2 cups of oatmeal and a fish oil and some a cup of green vegetables. Then meal 2, 3, 4, and 5 were 10 ounces of chicken, a cup of white rice, and 1 to 2 cups of green vegetables. And then meal 6 again was like 2 whole eggs, 10 egg whites, and I don't think any carbs, but 1 to 2 cups of green vegetables. Okay. And now for prep, I start prep with those exact same foods, and we just start implementing a little bit of cardio. Once I plateaued there, Then we we reduced the carbs by about 25% probably. Okay. And then once you plateau again, then we started a little carb cycle. I went like low, low, medium, low, high. All right. And then when you plateau, you go low, low, medium, low, high. And then it was all low days. And then on Sunday was my high day. Okay, I'm talking about low and medium and high carbs for those of you who don't know. And then I went to all low days, right, which was about 50 carbs a day. I think my low day was like 50 grams of carbs. My medium was like 150, and my high day was about 375. And now that I'm like 3-4 weeks out, I'm down to 0 carbs, other than refeed days, but 0 carbs. My protein has gone from 10 ounces per meal down to 5, okay? And now I don't have any whole eggs. I have 8 egg whites for breakfast, so I'll go through this. My meal number 1 is 8 egg whites, my fish oil, and 1 to 2 cups of green vegetables. Meal 2, 3, 4, or 5 are 5 ounces chicken breast, 1 to 2 cups green vegetables. That's it. Meal 6 is 8 egg whites and some vegetables. That's it. And people are like, well, that's not fucking healthy going without carbs. Well, I'm trying to get fucking shredded.
This is bodybuilding, not a fucking health show.
Yeah, I'm trying to get shredded. And yes, when I need one, when I'm too flat, I get a refeed. And Chris Aceto talked not too long ago about Sean Roden. That motherfucker's 250 pounds. And the last 4 to 5 weeks of his Olympia prep, he went 0 to 50 carbs per day. So,
yep.
There you go.
And that's pretty much my life is 0 carbs. So
you don't respond well to carbs
or fats. Yeah. I respond better to carbs than I do fats, and actually better to carbs the further I get into this. And also with how my hormones are set up now, I respond a little bit better to it.
You respond to training and pain.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't need to go through all of my meals, but it's basically the same thing. What we want you guys to hear is that there's a big fucking difference between eating for comfort and quote unquote fitness and eating to get fucking shredded.
Yep. Foods that work. Figure it out.
What's next?
A lot of people have been asking about our personal fitness journeys, how we got started, and then how our relationship with the sport has evolved over time. Go for it.
What do you mean, like fitness journey? Like how it all started?
How'd you get into bodybuilding and all that?
So, I was a high school and collegiate athlete, 4-sport athlete in high school, but softball was my main sport. I ended up playing 4 years of college ball, and then I coached softball at the collegiate level for about 10 years. And because of softball, I started lifting weights at a very young age. I think the first time I ever lifted, I was just freshly 12 years old. In the West High weight room. The first thing I ever did was fucking bench press. 2 years after that was the first time I ever pressed 135, and I thought that was the fucking coolest thing in the world. And then last year I hit 225, and I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it takes a long
and you
long
weigh
time.
Like the same.
Yeah, I weighed less, yeah, but now I weigh, I weighed like 130 in high school, and I'm like 145, 147 today. So that's how I got started lifting. And I think that the physique that I built when I was a kid really helped me. Yeah. Because the muscle memory thing is real. Because after when I stopped playing ball my senior year of college, it was not by choice. So I ended up having a severe shoulder injury. I tore my rotator cuff, bicep tendon, and labrum completely. So I played center field. And the doctor was like, well, sorry, you're not going to be able to throw a ball again. So that was in February of my senior year. And I played the rest of the year. I just hit. I'm a left-handed hitter. So I hit the rest of the year, and then I coached in the summer, and then I ended up having a full shoulder repair, which was the fucking worst. The recovery was awful. But I basically started from square one, rebuilding my physique. And at that point, I was drinking every day. I had some drug issues.
Addicted to Adderall.
I didn't give a fuck about my physique. I was extremely skinny, and then I gained a lot of weight. And then Ryan and I were like, hey, let's let's fucking go to the gym. So we started going to the gym, and I responded pretty quickly. And I remember one of my friends who I went to high school with, Rebecca, she's also a figure pro, new mom, doesn't really compete anymore, but
Rebecca Willick.
she was like, hey, like, I'll coach you. And I was like, no, that's fucking dumb. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting on stage in a bikini. It's stupid. So there's just people just kept like hounding me. They're like, look at your biceps, because at that point, like, my biceps were as big as my fucking legs.
For real.
And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll have a hack at it. So in 2015, I did a couple shows. I think my whole career, actually, I've only done 7 shows. So I didn't play super well. I didn't win a first place until VJ started coaching me in 2016, and I won 2 first place in overall shows, Miss Iowa and the Midwest Championship. And then I got 6th place at USA's in 2016, and I shut it down until the next year, where I won first place in my class at Junior USA's, and then I won first place in my class Junior Nationals, and I turned pro. That was in fucking June of 2017, and since then, I've just been building my physique in hopes to be competitive in the IFBB.
So you've had a 2-year off season.
2-year off season, yep. And it was at first, the main reason I could have within like 6 to 12 months gotten on a figure stage, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
VJ, I was like asking VJ, can I compete? And he's like, in WPD? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, no. He's like, figure, we can start anytime. Physique, I need it. You can't rush tissue. You need to train, you need to eat, you need to supplement, to make the kind of progress that you want. I mean, when I turned pro, I was 116 pounds.
Yeah.
The heaviest I got in my off season was 170 pounds.
Yep.
And you want to talk about snoring?
You were like 16% body fat.
I got to 19% body fat, and people were like, so mean. They were like, you're letting yourself go. Are you not bodybuilding anymore? And I was
you
like,
were still solid.
I was like, no, but I can squat 315 now.
For fucking 15
yeah,
reps.
so I it's fucking crazy to think that I was carrying around like 25 pounds more.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to put on some fat to really put on some muscle. So we did a mini cut last year, and I was in a pretty good spot. Then we refed for a couple weeks, and then we started cutting, and we already talked about where I'm at currently. But yeah, I'll be ecstatic when I get on stage again. That's to say the least.
Hell yeah. So how's your mindset evolved with the sport? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
how's your relationship with the sport changed or stayed the same?
I think a lot of it has stayed the same for me, because I've always been a real intrinsically motivated person. I like to just compete no matter what it is. Excuse me. What I like to push weight. I like to eat. I like to feel just dead after a workout. And that's why I think I'm going to do this for a really long time, because I just fucking love training. I love training so much. There's nothing more I love than just killing it in the gym. I think the biggest thing is I've matured as a competitor and as an athlete, because patience is the biggest thing that you have to have, whether it's with yourself or with your body. Timelines are bullshit. If you say, oh, I'm going to turn pro this year, you're fucking lying. Like, you have no idea who else is going to show up. All you can do is control what you do on a daily basis. How many fucking hours a night are you sleeping? How many meals are you getting in? Are you missing meals? Are you giving everything that you can in the gym? Are you listening to your mentors? Are you absolutely crossing every fucking T and making sure that you're perfect? Because if you're not, then you're doing a disservice to yourself and to the sport. And I think where I've really matured this year is I've learned to really trust in the process, not do too much, not overtrain, not question yourself, not think that you need to do more when you're already doing enough. You just need to fucking be patient. So I've run the gambit of that. Before, I was not patient enough to do well, and now I'm trying to be more patient and to give myself time to be my best.
Mm-hmm. Good shit.
Yeah. What about you?
I like it. Well, I don't think we've really gone into detail about all this like we on this show, but we talked about it on some other shows before, like Cerebral Entertainment podcasts and stuff, how we got into this. But for me as well, I was an athlete my entire life. In high school, I was an all-state baseball player, all-state wrestler, went on to play collegiate baseball, and then I also fought MMA. I went 10-1 as an amateur, and then 3-3 as a pro currently, and I'm gonna fight again, people. We're throwing that out there. But and then like I just quit fighting. I lost 3 in a row at the pro level, and I was just discouraged, I think, honestly.
Fighting's fucking hard.
Yeah. And as you start winning, you start fighting better people.
Right.
And honestly, I almost trained myself. Like, I wasn't at some fancy camp. I just went in there with my wrestling background, a little bit of jiu-jitsu, and fucking the Muay Thai I've learned, and fucking street fighting, and went in and held my own with everybody I fought. But I kind of tweaked my knee. My knee's fucked up, but I can still weight train without injuring it. So I was like, man, I need something competitive in my life. And well, I guess after I quit fighting, Hailey and I, we just would ride motorcycles and get wasted like 5 to 7 days a week. We were what I would call the definition of functioning alcoholics. We held down jobs just fine and did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
But
I was a high school English teacher.
Yeah. Yep. I was a manager of a day treatment facility for at-risk youth.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yep. But literally we would get off work every day and then meet up at the bar, close that bitch down, go to work again the next day, and go drink again.
Yeah, what a life.
Yeah, so finally we were like, man, we got to get back into the gym, like Hailey said, and we went back to the gym. Hailey took it more serious than I did. She started competing about a year before me.
Maybe more, 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. And while I was going to the gym every day, and Hailey had pretty much like really cut down on the drinking, and I was still drinking. Like the first year I was back in the gym, half the time I was hungover, but I still went and I was making progress. And then I finally just flipped a switch one day. I was like, fuck this. You know what? I'm going to all these competitions, watching my wife win, do really well, whatever. I'm like, if I'm going to be around this shit, I might as well do it. And I needed something competitive in my life. So
you just want to carry my bag anymore?
I'm still your bag bitch, but St. Louis and Puerto Rico, you're going to be mine.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, so then I was just like, hey, I'm going to do this. Hit up VJ and did a little, like a little bulk, I guess you would call it. And then we trimmed down.
It's insane, though, to look, because you were like just a completely different person.
Yeah, I went from a sloppy.
You had like no muscle compared to now.
I went from a sloppy 258, dieted myself down to like 205, and then built myself up to like 235. And then I hired VJ. We cut down, we built up, and then I started a prep. Won my first show in Ottawa, Illinois, the NPC Continental. Then I took almost a year and a half off, and built up to a pretty solid 260, and then, or 270 really. And then we started prep for the Arnold Amateur, and that's where I finished 10th, and now here we are.
Yeah.
And I just went from getting into bodybuilding because I was like, oh, it's something to do, and now I fucking love it. Like, this is our life. So
let's do one more question, since we're talking quite a bit today. But this is one that we've gotten a few times. Female gear usage. What exactly was the question on this?
Talk about it.
Just talk about it? Yeah. Well, I think most of the people that ask me about this, they just throw. We kind of talked about this with Nadia. You know, they throw gear usage out there as something just to be kind of nonchalant about. I don't know. I mean, being open about myself. When I first started bodybuilding, I was like, I'm staying natty. Just like I'm sure a lot of people think. But something that I did that I don't see a lot of chicks and guys doing nowadays is maxing out their genetic potential and really fucking training hard, training their ass off, and reaching a point where like progress is not happening before they even think about doing gear. I turned pro without using anything. I turned pro with fucking normal hormone levels. And it was hard, but like, it was way fucking harder to diet like that. But I'm really glad that I did it, because here's my thinking. Like, I wanted to prove to myself that I belonged in this sport, that I had the genetic capabilities to be great. Because, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pros now, but there's so many fucking competitors. Like, I still think to win a show is pretty special. A national show is pretty special because, you know, they say they hand them out like candy, but a lot of people saying that don't fucking have a piece.
All right, yeah, I gotta touch on that real quick. So you got a lot of these older guys who back in the day the only way to turn pro was through Mr. Universe or USA's, right? Which, okay, I get that. It was more difficult to turn pro back then. But there was also less competitors. And now, yes, there's more opportunities, but there's way more competitors.
Yeah. Women weren't even really included until
and
recently.
There was only people are like, there's so many IFBB pros, so many, it's so saturated. Okay, yeah, you're right. But back then there was only bodybuilding and women's bodybuilding.
Right.
Now you have men's bodybuilding, classic, men's physique.
Everything.
And then now there's women's bodybuilding, women's physique, women's figure, and bikini. So, of course, you're going to have more pros.
So, but back to female gear usage.
Shit pisses me off.
I think that too often I see this happen. Boyfriend is like, hey, I think you need to take some gear. And this girl is like, okay. And she just starts running VAR, Winnie, and too much, starts at 25 mgs and is like, oh, this is fine. I think that the most minimal dosage, effective dosage for men and women is something that nobody fucking pays attention to anymore. And it needs to be, because toxicity is a real thing, and fucking viralization for women is a real thing. Not to mention that just training hard and dieting hard can cause some women to viralize. Which means to take on male characteristics.
Voice will deepen.
I consider myself to be pretty lucky, because even with I don't want to say very mild, but somewhat mild gear usage, you know, my voice might be a little bit lower, but I don't have really any side effects that I didn't have before. You know, I have a deeper voice. I have acne from polycystic and just my genetics. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, you already had that shit. Since you started using, your acne has actually gotten better.
Right. And I can't stress enough that doctor's care is very important, especially for women, because, you know, guys, it's important for you too, but if you take something and it's mislabeled, it's not going to completely fuck you up like it would a woman.
We can get away with more.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you have room for mistakes. So having another eye is really important. And it's not a decision to be taken lightly. So if you just think like, oh, I'm going to jump on some dihydrotestosterone derivatives, nothing will happen to me, you might want to think again.
There's chicks out there that take 12.5 mgs of Anavar and they grow a cleanus.
Right.
A clit penis.
Right. And then it's all so individual. Like, just speaking from a personal standpoint, my normal testosterone and dihydrotestosterone levels are very high, just genetically because of polycystic.
Your DHT is what, 122? And normal for a woman is...
I mean, when I was natty, it was like 60, which is way high for a man.
That's 3 times normal.
Right. So when I tried to add a DHT compound, fucking hell broke loose.
Yeah. People, you tried doing 6 mgs of Anavar.
Right.
As your first steroid.
Yeah. Which is quote unquote safe for everyone.
And yeah, all women can take that. You're good. And then we think it converted to aldosterone.
Yeah.
And you just started holding water,
like crazy.
Water retention to the point where you could not grip a bar and your hands were numb and tingly.
Right.
And
so
people
again,
were like, no, you're good. Fight through it.
So again, shout out to VJ for being fucking smart.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's all about what works for you. You know, it's all about what works for you. And it's not something to be taken lightly. I see, Ryan, your note also has birth control usage. I don't take birth control just because pumping estrogen in my body's not exactly going to make me as lean as I want to be. And I have nothing against taking birth control, but I will say that I've read about what it does to your microbiome and the rest of your hormones, and I'm not super sold on the cost to benefit.
Mm-hmm. Well, and for you, which we learned through ACI medicine, you have a specific genetic mutation where the birth control you were on, our doctor says, oh my gosh, you're lucky to be alive.
Right.
I can't believe your previous doctor put you on this without doing blood work.
Yeah, he said this is what I would call malpractice.
Because it could have thickened your blood or something to the point
right,
where...
and I already have to, even when I was natty, donate blood. My iron's so fucking high. Yeah, it's just crazy. So a lot of my clients approach me, whatever, not having a baby is a high priority for a lot of people, but longevity and health is also a high priority. So you just have to think, about what's more important to you.
Well, I mean, if you're on birth control, that's basically tricking your body into thinking it's pregnant, right?
I don't know. It's kind of. I don't know. I'm not an expert there.
Yeah.
All I know is that when I've taken birth control, I feel like complete shit.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think we should save the rest of our questions for next time. We got through a few. It's pretty good.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think we probably went a little longer than normal, but we've had some people saying, oh, make your show longer. Anyway, so fuck it. There you go.
So, anything coming up this weekend? Anything exciting?
Ooh, we do. Well, you're going to be in Minneapolis.
I will.
So you're going to be at Los Campeones.
Little sister. I'll be at Los Campeones gym on Saturday. So if this comes out after that, hopefully not. Hopefully it's
Saturday
before that.
the
But
6th, right?
yeah.
April
so
6th.
with my little taller sister hanging out in Minnesota. If you're there, hit me up.
And then I will be at the Ernie B show, the Big B event, Ernest B.
Yeah, shout out to Anna Wells, client of mine competing in bikini. She looks
her first show ever.
Fucking great.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a client and they're like, I want to do bikini. And you're like, fuck no. This one, she's perfect for it.
She's
absolutely perfect for it.
The epitome of bikini.
She's gorgeous. She's petite. She's cute. Tiny waist. Big glutes. Just fantastic. We just got to get the sex appeal going, and we're money.
Yeah, dude, her back shot is phenomenal. Like she almost has a pro physique right now, no joke.
Yeah, I think
she's
we
almost
there. Put a little more mass on it, but
yeah, but as long as she nails her stage presence and has a lot of confidence, she'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, I just saw on Instagram she bought some brownies for post show. So, Anna, I told her we could have a steak and shake eating contest. She weighs 119 pounds, and she thinks she can out eat me.
and most of that's just full of water,
right?
now.
And I was like, oh, sweetie. I was like, I will eat 14 motherfucking patties and be hungry.
2 7x7s
right.
and some dessert.
That's right.
Yep. So good luck to Anna.
Good luck to everybody else. Oh, Aubrey Johnson, one of my best friends and clients, also client of VJ. She's fucking bomb, dude. She's like 44 years old. She's a gilf, and she looks fucking great.
Aubrey is a gilf.
Aubrey's taken a couple years off stage because she's had some like health stuff come up, life stuff, but she's fucking ready, man. She looks so good.
Yep.
We trained this morning. She's killing it.
Is she doing bikini and figure?
Well, I asked her that because she's clearly cut out for figure.
Absolutely.
But I guess she does have like the scoliosis, so it's kind of throwing a wrench in there.
It throws off her symmetry for sure.
But hopefully she tries it. This is another thing. Posing is hard. Like when you move from class to class, like the posing is fucking hard. But she's absolutely got the bikini down, so we'll see. Hopefully we can see Anna and Aubrey facing off in the overall.
Aubrey works that shit like India Paulino.
Fuck yeah, she does.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about, so Anna's 22, Aubrey's 44. Like there's the experience where it comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
I jokingly said to some of my clients today, you can tell when people walked around the streets of a college town.
Downtown wasted, picking up
kind of being a hoe at 2 a.m. You can tell when people haven't. So, at least my college years were worth something.
You dirty little slut.
Fuck off.
You and those Puerto Rican boys.
Oh, my God.
What?
You're a complete douche.
Puerto Rican baseball team.
Well, good thing we're going on vacation then. Maybe we can be reunited.
I was a baseball player.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Anything else?
Jessup, our boy. He is I think he's an NGA pro, right? So he was a natural league of some sort pro. He is making his NPC debut.
And he's fucking shredded.
Local guy here, absolutely shredded. Jessup's a listener to the show too, so I'm sure he'll hear this.
Such a good guy. You know, like in fitness, sometimes you meet people. Most of the time, you meet people, you're like, wow, you're fucking untrustworthy. Jessup's not that. He's awesome. Really like that guy.
100% natty. This dude is fucking diced, self-coached, self-prepped. I just hope he can fill back out, because if he does, he will be hard to beat.
Dangerous.
He will be hard to beat.
Absolutely.
At probably middleweight, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Around 180-ish.
So shout out to everybody doing that show, and all the shows coming up. We will keep you updated. We hoping to get some big names on here in the next couple weeks. So look forward to that. And for Ryan and Hailey and the ComeUp podcast, we'll see you next time.
See y'all later.
change. No one's going to throw a ton of money at you, and you're not going to be on TV.
No.
You're not going to become a celebrity. You're just going to be, and as a friend of mine told me, he says, okay, so as an amateur, you build yourself up to the ranks and you get to the top. Now you become an IFBB pro. It's not as if you're going to be at the top of your game. In fact, a lot of people, as soon as they become an IFBB pro, don't compete anymore.
That's it.
They will get destroyed. Not only do you have people that are taking a lot of drugs, these are the true genetic mutants that will respond to training, nutrition, that are more driven than you and will do anything to win. And for you to make it onto the Olympia stage, good luck. Good luck.
And that ties it all back in too to what you were saying from the start, wanting to help to educate people. I think that if people could learn that lesson, and the lesson being that, hey, if you're cut out to be pro, it's not going to take a ton of gear to make that happen.
No.
If people could learn that lesson, that means they'd also have to accept that, hey, maybe I'm just a subpar competitor, and that's the best that I can do. It's a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow, no pun intended. But really, I think it's the reality of it. And at the end of the day, too, that doesn't mean that you can't still be your best. I think that people think that takes something away from them if you tell them, no, you can't be pro. But in reality, it doesn't change anything about how hard you can work and how many improvements that you can make in your own life and your own body,
And it has to be the experience. It really does. You got to make it fun. I've been going down to the Arnold since the early 90s.
Yeah.
And these were the days Arnold would be up there with his he had the super seminar on the Sunday, but it was back at the old veterans. And
wow.
He'd have Franco up there, and they're both drinking schnapps on stage, because they've been out drinking all night. And they'd have Larry Scott there doing 90-pound one-arm preacher curls, and Mike Menzer, and they're all chatting, and they're all everything. And the biggest thing that I saw with all the older time bodybuilders, is they all enjoyed it. They enjoyed the experience. They enjoyed training.
Yeah.
And over the years, it's become laborious. They're doing it only to become good on stage. Arnold is still training early in the morning. If he did a movie shoot, he basically gets a 53-foot trailer flowing in full of equipment. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the jungle. That's just part of his life, and we see this with some of the powerlifters too. One would be someone like a Dave Tate, who that's just part of his life. He's not competing anymore, hasn't for a while, but it keeps his brain, normal.
Sure.
Or as normal as it can be, I love Dave. I'll be presenting at his seminar in Columbus, Ohio, on April 27th, and
Nice.
That's going to be an unbelievable seminar for people to go to. But the biggest thing is that you want to get the love of training back. When I'm competing in powerlifting, if I map out my 9 lifts, so I do 3 squats, 3 bench, 3 deadlifts, and if I map out what I want to do in that competition, and I hit all of my lifts, I am super happy. I don't care if I place first. I don't care if I place last. I'm just happy that I was able to hit the lifts that I wanted. Unfortunately, we don't have that same experience in bodybuilding because you have to beat someone, to actually do better. And it depends on whether or not someone's even in your class. They have so many different classifications. Yeah, you may be the winner, but you're the only one there. And so it's kind of an empty, win. And, for that people would say it's an empty win. I'm like, you know what? That's fantastic because no one else went. So you know what? The competition is there. Anyone can go, and if no one wants to do it, that's fine too. But always try and come in better.
Yeah.
Enjoy the experience. Enjoy the time training. And find good training partners and whatnot. And so I'm starting to see that love of training for certain people end up more and more, and other people not as much. They're after the glory. And when you talk to these people that have, they're in magazines and everything else, and it's fleeting. It's like, it was good to win the competition, and now you get into the now what situation where you won, and after you win, your whole life is different now because, I mean, that's all you've been focused on for 12, 14, 16 weeks.
Right.
And now it's kind of like, well, now what I do?
Yeah.
So you go into a week or two of subpar depression because it's like, because you don't look as good as what you should, and you're not supposed to, which is starting to create a huge problem with women, where they think they should be stage ready all the time. So if they've been competing for a while, and I know certain people, some of them very personally, where when they competed and they look fantastic, and say a woman competes at 105, 110 pounds, and then she goes up to 120, 125, and now they walk around thinking that they're fat.
Right. No, that's all too common. We talk about that a lot here too on Advices. Just, and I can't help but blame social media for all that stuff. It's not helping in any way. And you're right, man. No. It all comes down to that ego. And I think you're right. You know what? If I get unplugged at all, I get ahead of myself and I'm not having fun anymore. What I personally do is I step back and I look at, well, Scott, why did you start lifting weights to begin with? What was your attitude like at that time? And I try to plug back in with those things, where I was in my life at that time. I find that to be grounding. I agree. I feel like we could all use that. It's unfortunate that some people who have discovered the sport nowadays are coming from this very vain surface place that you're talking about. They didn't have the foundation that I'm talking about or that you're talking about. But hopefully through their experiences, they can learn to find that, and maybe through hearing stuff like this conversation, that might help too.
Well, that, and you know what? You can find different mentors. Find people that have been doing it for a long time, that are level-headed, that are nice people, because in the sport and bodybuilding, powerlifting, there are people that are fantastic and they're nice people and they'll do anything for you if you want to put the time in. And there's other people, they're focused on themselves and they really couldn't care about anyone else.
That's a good point.
But find some mentors. Like, I mean, you're a mentor, just sitting and chatting with you. The experience that you have is incredible. When you sit down with John Meadows, he's level-headed.
Wow, he's great.
You couldn't find a more level. Same thing with Scott. These guys are level-headed. Like when John presented for me in the Swiss 2016, I sat down with him at dinner time, and I said, "Are you going to compete anymore?" He goes, "Ken, I really enjoy it, but it's just taking up so much time. I know I'm not going to ever make the Olympia stage." And here's a pro bodybuilder, and here's someone that has done pretty much everything, super smart. You won't find anyone who trains harder than him. Trust me, he will crush anyone. But he also has the maturity and the wisdom to say, you know what, I do this for me. And he still friggin' trains hard. Yeah. He still looks fantastic. And he's a nice person, and he has fun. Hell, at Swiss 2018, he dressed up as the warrior and running around and these short little clips as far as hitting people with like a WWF in the back, as far as having fun with that. Like, I mean, he's making it fun again. And I think that's the downside, that people are like, oh, beast mode and gotta crush it, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. You want to go in with a super intense mentality, but it doesn't have to be 24/7. My God.
I totally agree with you.
But my advice is find people that you can go to. Just don't get an online coach that you've never met before, will never see in person or anything else. I see that being a huge problem too, because it's, you're getting well-intentioned bad advice. You're getting the same program as someone else, same nutrition program as someone else, not necessarily, top notch. There's a couple of them that are doing really good work, but for the general, I got a whole bunch of patients that have never competed before. They see that they can make money off other people by saying, oh, I'm an online coach, and just come and give me $200 or $300 a month and I'll give you all the information that you need. And that doesn't work as well. Work with people. Like going to the gym, even if it's a personal trainer, work with them for a little bit, or even better, we called them training partners back in the day. Find someone else that wants to get into shape.
There you go.
Go to the gym with them. And if you feel that you need to pay them, buy them lunch. But I mean, the whole thing is that, do the personal thing, do the aspect as far as finding someone else that you can really create a great experience, especially in the bodybuilding community. There's nothing better than training with someone, because the challenge you have with personal training is that the other trainer isn't doing the exercise with you.
Yeah.
You know, they can't, because they can't train 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day.
Oh God, no.
You know, so they'll just stand there and count reps and, you know, go through that. And, you know, I'm not disparaging personal training. I deal with personal trainers all the time. I think they're one of the best things that's ever happened to the fitness community, because what they do is they make people accountable.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and some people, you know, they need that. I think it could work. I'm going to cut in here, though, because we're about out of time. Before we go, though, I wanted to ask where people can reach out to you. Tell me more about where people can find out about Swiss. And not only that, now, am I correct here? You have all the presentations you've done. These are all on video, and this stuff is available if people want to continue educating themselves, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So, you know, there's a number of different ways to get a hold of me. Probably the easiest is I have a Facebook page. It's Ken Kanakin, and you'll have it in the show notes as far as where I am. And then my Instagram is on that also. And what I've done is I've made little clips of the different presentations, 60-second clips that have captions and the transcript. So everyone from Stan Efferding talking about his vertical diets, and some of the things from Dorian Yates, what he said, and Bill Kazmaier and Ed Cohn. So these are all the little tips. These are 90-minute presentations these guys have done for me. Mm-hmm. And what I do is I go through the presentation and pull out what's the one thing, what's the one nugget, what's the one pearl that's kind of like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. And what is advanced ways as far as training, nutrition, protocols that you can use, and everything else. And I post them on Instagram, you know, every day on my name, or else also Swiss 2018. If you want more information, I teach people on how to do muscle testing and assessments and rehab. So they can go to swis.ca and get information there. And I also have from the previous symposiums, swissvideoflix.com, similar to Netflix, where it's a monthly subscription for, I think, you know, $8-9 a month, and nice. you get access to 150 to 200, you know, different videos of all the different presenters over the years, and that way it makes it affordable, but also you get, you know, the best information.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Ken. I really appreciate you taking the time to not only share a lot of really great education and information, but also to share some motivation here. I feel like, you know, it's people like you that I think are giving me hope that, you know, we can still make bodybuilding a great sport for years to come.
Yeah, it is a great sport. You know, it's not as if, you know, it's going down this horrible path. It doesn't have to for you. What other people are going to do, they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, if you do great training, which is some great protocols, nutrition, and also, you know, if you want to go down the drug route, just make sure that you work with someone that knows what they're doing and you don't hurt yourself. You know, that's just part and parcel of the sport. So yeah. Yeah, so I really, really appreciate it, Scott. It was a pleasure meeting you that one day.
Absolutely.
And hope to see you again soon, and look back and share other ideas.
Absolutely, and I look forward to the next Swiss. So, you know, we've got a little bit of time. You do that every 2 years, so that'll be 2020. As you're getting ready for that now, right?
Yeah, it usually takes me about 2 years to put together. So it'll be Swiss 2020. I'm looking at October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It'll be in the fall. It'll be up here in just outside of Toronto, and it's actually going to be the best one that I put together. The people that are coming, it's going to be unreal. So it'll be a fun experience.
Awesome, guys! For another episode of Advices Radio with Ken Kanakin, I'm Scott McNally. We will see you soon. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Scott.
Advices Radio Network.